Hey everybody, it is Billy at BTUFF. I got something fun for you today. We're going to be taking a look at Sycamore Valley Ranch, located in San Ynez, California, formerly known as Neverland Ranch, of course, owned by Michael Jackson. We're going to be taking a look at it. Went there a couple weeks ago with my daughter, take a look at the front, and we'll get some overhead shots. We're going to take a look at some photos, actually from Google Earth. We'll be taking a look at those and talking a little bit about it. It's whatever you think's going on. I don't want to get too much into all the stuff going on, but the property itself is pretty fascinating, and I know they've had a hard time trying to sell that property, and there's probably a few reasons why. We'll get into all that, we'll have a good time, and we'll just go in and check it all out. Well, here we are. We are at the front of Neverland Ranch, formerly Neverland Ranch. I believe it's called, I think it's called Sycamore Ranch. I could be wrong, but I know they've changed the name of it. It's no longer Neverland, and you can kind of see, we'll kind of go up here. They have you can see they have, fans have come by, and over the years have signed all their stuff. Yeah, they actually do have working security here, so you can see that the grounds are definitely secure. Kind of like just over the years, people have come here and just signed their names. I would imagine, because I'm seeing a lot of these, there's a lot of 2019s and stuff, that they probably cleaned this wall like quite a bit. See, 2020. Because I guarantee over the years, there's been a lot more people than that. I've come through here. So they probably come out here, clean all this off, and the new people come and scribe names and stuff on there. But actually it's 2017.
2015. 2013.
Yeah, so people still coming out here. You know, we came out here and there was someone here too, so. People actually come here from all over the world, and they actually make trips here to see this. So, pretty interesting. And, you can see people, even today, walk over here. I've left some kind of flower. Anyway, people still showing up here after all these years. A resident of Neverland Ranch, formerly Neverland Ranch, a lizard, enjoying his day. So you can see someone has come here from Italy. See right here. I've seen this thing right here on videos. Of course, people sign it. Right? A lot of people put locks on this for some reason. I don't know why. Actually, they've taken some of the locks off here because I've seen some videos where this whole thing was filled with locks. So they have taken some of the locks off, but some are still in there. Man, you know, all over this property are these rocks that people probably bring with them, you know, and leave here. They sign, you can see this one right here. Canada. I don't know where this one's from. Kind of see. It's crazy. You know, I think that might be one of the challenges that the real estate companies have had, is that, you know, it's always going to be a place where people come to pay their respects to Michael Jackson. I mean, I don't even know if you can go to the grave that he's at, but you can come here, right? So whoever gets this place, you know, whoever buys it, I think over time will always have this to deal with, you know. So that is probably one of the challenges that the real estate companies have had, is that you take this on and, you know, you kind of inherit this a little bit. Let's take a look at the overhead view of the old Neverland Ranch. It's actually a huge property. This is only one section of it. We'll go over some of the other stuff in a bit, but it definitely is a huge property that takes a lot of maintenance. It's definitely not the Neverland Ranch that it was when Michael was living on the grounds and had a bunch of people working on this property. Those days are gone. They have a few people working on it, probably just trying to keep it, you know, up to date a little bit so it doesn't totally go, you know, bad. But I'm just telling you, man, there's a lot of stuff on this property, and to keep all that going, you need a full staff. It's going to take a lot of money, and there's a lot of reasons why I think that, you know, the real estate company is having such a hard time. You know, they started this thing off at $100 million, I believe, and they dropped it down a few times. And I think the last time a few months ago was 30 million, and they got no bites on it. And so you think when you take this property on right here, you're not just paying the 30 million, you have to upkeep it. And I don't know how many millions of a year that would be, but it's probably a few at least. You know, forget about the property tax. I don't know what that would be. It'd probably be outrageous, but you're going to have a complete full staff to keep this place going, man. It's so massive. And I think it was even over time, I think Michael got in some financial trouble. You know, I think he got in over his head on some stuff. But, you know, you're going to have to be a special kind of person to have. You have to be someone that has $1 billion to blow, you know, without thinking about it, to own something like this. But I will say that I know that Michael, I want to say that he negotiated down into the teens of millions when he got it. Now, of course, he added a bunch of stuff to it, but he definitely got a good deal when he got it originally. So, pretty cool. If you look towards the center, you can see the house tucked into the, I believe they're oak trees. Could be wrong, but I think they're oak trees. Maybe not. But it's really tucked in there. I didn't realize it was tucked in that tight, but there's probably a lot of shade around the property. Interesting, you see the giving tree right there. That was a tree that Michael used to climb, I believe, and wrote some of his songs. The pool you can see at the top. Yeah, if you've ever seen any of the documentary stuff with Michael Jackson, you've seen some of the stuff in that pool. That swamp area, or that lake area, it actually looks like it's turned a little bit into a swamp. I don't know what it was like when he had it, but I don't even know how they get water in that deal, like how maybe there's a spring somewhere underneath the property. But I know that a lot of the green area around the home that was green, you know, when Michael was living there, is now kind of turned brown. So definitely not the property it was when Michael was living there. And I imagine that they're trying to hang on right now. I don't know how much it costs them to maintain this thing, but you know, with them pulling that house off the market, I'm sure they're trying to hang on. Let's take a look at what once was the amusement park at Neverland. Man, I lived down the street growing up. When I say down the street, like 20, 30 minutes away. And I remember thinking, man, this thing's right down the street. How magical that would have been to be able to go to this thing. You know, I remember seeing some pictures at night, and yeah, incredible, man. And here's a look of what it looked like when it had, you know, everything there. Pretty crazy. I mean, you can imagine how a kid would think this is just like the ultimate magical experience, right? I mean, there's probably all you can eat candy everywhere, and ice creams, and anything you want's there. And, you know, just you're hanging out with the biggest celebrity on the planet. It's pretty cool. Man, look at that house in the back. Isn't that neat? There's a water fountain next to it. Yeah. Now here's a look at it when it's barren. You can see I had a go-kart track too. See at the top right there. You know, I had a buddy that worked at Toys R Us. You know, he's like 17 or 18, and Michael would bring all the kids there after Toys R Us closed. He'd call ahead, and he'd show up like in a chic outfit, so he's all hidden, you know. But all the kids would be with him. It's just anything they wanted, they got. Just filled up the carts, whatever they wanted. Pretty amazing. Let's move on to the zoo area, or what once was the zoo area. And man, I would love to look in these buildings and stuff, because think about what it took to keep the zoo going, because this was a complex zoo with giraffes, elephants, tigers, alligators. I mean, it had a lot of animals you would see in the zoo. It would have took a big staff to keep these animals alive and healthy, and the veterinarian work that would go into it. I mean, it had to be a complex thing to have a zoo. Michael, of course, was exotic with animals. Remember, he had that chimpanzee named Bubbles. Remember that? So definitely interesting. I would love to get down on the grounds and see some of the facility there that kept the zoo running. Well, there is one last animal. It is the only animal left at the old Neverland Zoo, and it is a llama. I don't know what his fate is, but he is the last survivor there, and all the other animals have been given away to different zoos. And Joe Exotic actually took the alligators. I think I saw, maybe the tigers too, but I know the alligators. And actually the alligators died. Remember when that whole building went up? But llama's still here. Interesting look up here. You can see that circle at the top. See that right there? That's actually a train track. And it looks like the train like went around, and I don't know if that's where they worked on the train. That might have been like the garage for the train to work on them. I don't know. But the train track definitely connected all of the stuff together. I mean, that's how people moved around the park sometimes. I mean, not always, but I'm sure they had golf carts and things. But you know, you could also take a train ride through the Neverland Ranch. So pretty neat. You know, the more I look at this in detail, you know, you don't see a lot of these things. I mean, you just look around this picture and you can see all these different buildings, and you can really see it on Google Earth, man. You can see all the stuff, and it was just, and it's the amount of money it must have took to put all this together, to pay everybody. It's just staggering. I mean, it really is, you know, and even now, just to keep it in this condition that it's in right now is an amazing amount of work. I don't know how many people they got working on it, but you know, it's got to be some work. This thing doesn't just, you know, stay like this without someone mowing the lawns or whatever you got to do to keep it in this condition. So yeah, just it's pretty incredible. I mean, whatever you think of Michael Jackson, you know, and I'm torn inside a little bit too, because you know, I love the old Michael Jackson music, you know, and my kids loved it, you know. And this thing was part of my childhood, thinking about Neverland, how magical it was, you know, just down the street. And then when everything came out, it kind of like, man, it really tore me a little bit, because then I'm stuck with having to, you know, either not think about it or, you know, say, I'm not going to ever think about this again, you know. I don't know. I mean, I'm really torn on it, and I hate that. But it is an amazing property, and you know, I don't know how long it's going to be here. It may be something that the banks decide isn't worth trying to hold on to. Maybe they turn it into something else. I don't know, but it is an amazing property, and yeah, I don't think there's ever been anything in this country as more exotic and huge as the old Neverland Ranch. Anyway, there's a small look, and I hope you had some kind of enjoyment through this thing, and thanks for watching. This is Billy at BTUFF.